closer together, which meant they were more consistent. They're squished together. And where is my question D? Somehow I lost question D. Discuss the limitations of the measures of dispersion. Remember, measures of dispersion, that is the standard deviation, that is the range, and that is the variance. Does the variance use all data? Does the standard deviation variance use all data? Does the range use all data? What does the range use? Maximum. The max and the min. So the range does not matter. It doesn't tell you about all the stuff in the middle. The range just tells you the high and the low. That's it. These two use all the data. It's just kind of like when you're doing mean, median, and mode. Does the mean use all your grades? When I calculate your mean, do I use all the raw data?
Yes.
Yeah. For the median, do I use all your data?
No.
What data do I use? The one or two in the middle. It doesn't matter what your other grades are, it's just the one or two in the middle. For the mode, do I use all your data? No. So the only one out of the measures of center that uses all your data is going to be the mean. Here, these use all your data. This one only uses your high and your low. So your range is the only one that uses your high and your low, whereas the other two uses all your data. So that range really doesn't tell you as much as it could tell you. Now these last 3 pages are going to be a review of what we did last time, or the next page, and then we're going to do one more like this. Alright, let's start with this one. The empirical rule. What is the empirical rule screaming besides skip me? The empirical rule is screaming 68, 95, 99, 7 rule. Okay? So it's going to say use the empirical rule. Now, the only 2 things you need to know is the mean and the standard deviation. So it is a bell-shaped curve. The mean is what's in the middle of a bell-shaped curve. And the standard deviation is the size of the spread, how wide it is. So we are going to jump in increments of 114. And I've already written it down. This is 629, 743, 857, and then we're subtracting on this side because we're below the mean. So this is my mean. I add 114 to get 629. I add another 114 to get 743. I add another 114. Y'all with me? Then over here, what am I going to do with that 114? Subtract, subtract, subtract. Now, my first question, now if you want to memorize those little numbers and you want to put in, what percentage was this? 34%, and you want to put in those percentages, you're good to put in those percentages. Now, my first question says, what percent is between 401 and 629? I just drew a bigger picture right here. I put the numbers in for those of you who want to use the numbers. I personally don't use the numbers, but some of you may need to use the numbers. This first question said, we are shading between 401 and 629. So what percentage that? 68. It's one jump in either direction. But if you want to put in those numbers and say, it's a 34 plus 34, it's the same thing as one jump in either direction. Alright. Which scores is less than 401 or greater than 629. Less than 401 is this tail. Greater than 629 is this tail. Now, if you would have put those numbers in, you would do this plus this plus this plus this plus this plus this. You'll get your answer. How did I tell you last time to do two tails? What number do we need to start with if we're doing tails? 100%. Let me draw a picture of that one. Let's look at, let me see if I got B down here. There was A. Let me copy B so we can draw a new cute little problem. Let's do camera. And let's do B. And let's into the current page. And let's scroll down. So for the first answer, it was going to be 68%. 68% because we were one direction in either way, one jump in either way. So for this one, let me see how much room I have. There we go. So if I do, I'm going to save time by snagging this little thing right here. Oops, wrong snagger. I need this snag, and I'm going to come right here. All I'm doing is copying the same picture, I'm just bringing it down. All right, so for this one, I want less than 401 or greater than 629. Less than 401 or greater than 629. What do y'all see when y'all look at that one?
Mine 68.
I see a 68 here. That's a 68. Is that my answer? It's everything but the 68. So how do we get everything but the 68? Subtract it from the whole thing, which is 100. Very good. So we are going to do the whole thing, which is 100%, minus the 68. Now, if you want to, you can come back up here and say, I just want to memorize numbers. It's not the 68, it's everything else. So I want to do 0.15 plus 2.35 plus 13.5 plus 13.5 plus 2.35 plus 0.15. That will give you the same answer as well. What percentage is the more or the less than? 32%. And I have it written out both ways. Part A was 68%, Part B, I just did 2 times because the 15, the 2.35, and the 13.5 was this side, and there's 2 of them, so I just multiplied it by 2. All right, let's do Part C. Let's see if I have a picture for it. Nope, let me grab a picture. Clone. And let me grab the question, and I'm going to let you try this one. You can do it whichever way you want to. I just want you to get it right. I want to know scores greater than 743. What percentage of scores are greater than 743? What percent of scores are greater than 743? This is Part C. What percent of scores are greater than 743? Who's feeling froggy? what you got?
Is it 2.5?
Do I have a second? Good job. How'd you do it?
I took everything from 243 and back, and then just added them together. I mean, 743.
743. So, did you just take the numbers inside?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he did the numbers inside, and if you want to memorize that for the test, this one is 2.35 and this one is 0.15. So he added those together and got the 2.5%. Just memorize those little sections. When I look at it, I see that it's a tail. What do we do with tails? What percentage do I use if it's a tail? The whole thing, it's a tail, the whole thing. 100 minus, is this a 68, a 95, or a 97? It's a 95. So I take the whole thing, which is 100, and I subtract the 95. So I take 100 and I subtract the 95. And that gives me 5%. But that 5% represents both tails. Do I need both tails? I only need one tail. So what do I have to do to that answer? Cut it in half. So if you're a memorizing person and you just want to memorize, let me just add up 2.35 plus 0.15, that's fine. If you want to truly use the 68, 95, 99, 7 rule, that's fine too. Does not matter to me. Just get it right. All right, let's look at another one. I'll let you start by drawing that one. That B/T is between. And I put calculators up here. If you don't have a calculator, you just grab it and just put the cover up there to remind me to turn it up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Batteries.
Grab me another one, please. I'll grab you another one. 68% of the volts are between what links? What percent is between blah and blah? What percent is less than blah or more than blah? And what percent is between blah and blah?
First three are good.
Just love your drawings. You didn't wear your slinky today? Like some fuzzy socks.
No. First one's good.
First two are good. Yep. Yep. Just waiting on D. Check the last one. All the ones are good. Oh, your first one's on. Good, yep, first one's good. Round it to, take it to, 2 places behind the decimal.
Three numbers or 4?
3 to the left, 3 to the right. Yeah, you got your name in the middle, and then 3 to the left, 3 to the right. Yep. Take the last one. Perfect. Last one. Round it to 2 places behind the decimal. Round it to 2 places behind the decimal.
Perfect.
Good. The last one.
The numbers? Never got to see 'em.
You ready for me to start? If not, I'm not gonna say anything, so if you're still working, don't look up. All right, that's the graph that we should have gotten just from the red and the green in the directions. Your mean is in the middle, your standard deviation is the size of your spread, how much you're jumping in either direction. So we add, subtract, subtract, subtract. Yay? All right, so I'm gonna take that one graph, and I'm gonna use that graph for all of my problems. Now, I see some of you are using, and these are the percentages in red, right here. So if you want to come up with those percentages and memorize them for the test, that's fine. You just know those two equal 68, those 4 equal 95, the next one's equal 99.7, and if you add the two tails, that'll equal 100%. We good? All right. So if I come down, my first question is 68% of the bolts will be manufactured between what two links? So, they're telling you 68%. 68% is just a fancy way to tell you that we're doing how many jumps? One jump in either direction, each way. So if I go one jump and one jump, this is 68%. Now, they didn't ask you the percentage, they wanted to know what two links. 3.993 and 4.007. So those are going to be the links. This time they went a little backwards on you. Those are going to be your two links. So that was part A. Oops, that number's complicated. 3.993 and 4.007. Good? All right, question D. What percentage of bolts, so now we want to know the percentage. What percentage of bolts fall between 3.896 and 4.014? So, 3.896 is two jumps to the left, and 4.014 is actually two jumps to the right. So we went jump, jump to the left, and jump, jump to the right. So what percentage matches up with two jumps?
95.
Whoop, there it is. Now, if you wanted to take your numbers, it would be the 34 plus the 34 plus the 12.5 plus the 12.5, and you would have gotten the same answer. All right, let's go on to the next one. Stop me if you don't understand. Okay, there's my 95 right there, floating down here nowhere. Don't know where that came from. All right, this time we are doing less than 3.986 or greater than 4.014. And I think we talked about this last time. The reason I say or is you can't be in both places at one time. You can either be more than that or you can be less than that. So my greater is here and my less is here. Now, if you're an adder upper, you're going to do the point whatever and the point whatever and the point whatever and the point whatever. If you're not an adder, what does this represent? 95. And because it's a tail, what do we include? The whole thing is 100%. So, I would do 100%, which is the whole thing, 100% minus a two jumper. So what are we taking away? 95. And that 5% represents both tails. Do we want both tails?
Yes.
No, because it
Yeah.
said or.
We will be happy if it's this, or we will be happy if it's that. So we would be happy if it's either one. We can't be in both at the same time. So this one is a both tailer. If it would have just said what percent is greater than 4.021, that would just be that tail. But because it says less than and greater than, then it's both tails.
Okay, I got it right, and then whenever you said the thing about the
Or you
thing,
took
I
it
felt
off.
like it was
Yeah,
wrong.
it can't be in one or the other, but both of these sections make me happy, so I have to include both of the sections in my answer.
I see what you're saying.
You good?
Yeah.
That gets a lot of people. And I think I have down here what the green is what it would be if you use the 2.35 plus 0.15 plus 2.35 plus 0.15 would give you the same answer. All right, last one, and I had several people miss this one. we are between 4.07 and 4.07 and we're right there. Now, if you remember the percentages, this one's not that bad. But what I looked at is I said, okay, this line is a one jumper, so that represents what? 64. And this is a three jumper, so that represents what?
95.
And they kind of overlap. So what I did is I said we have a three jumper. We have a three jumper, which is 95%. You with me? And then this one jumper, I'm taking away. So if I do the 95% minus the 68%, that's going to leave me with both of these. Do I need both of these? I only need one. So what do we do with that answer? Divide it by 2. So that gives me something. What does that give me? 68, 78, 88, 20, something. Somebody, 95 minus 68. 26. That's what I thought. Divided by 2, which is 15.85. Because that 27 represents both sides. Now, if you just use the percentages, which is fine as well, it would have been a 13.5 plus a 2.35, which would have given you the same thing.
It's not 95%.
Yeah,
It's 99.
it's 95% will give you the wrong answer.
99.7, it's a three jumper. 99.7, I was doing a two jumper. It's a 68, 95, 99.7. It's a 99.7 minus, my bad, it's a three jumper. So 68's a one jumper, 95's a two jumper, 99.7 is a three jumper. So it's going to be a 99.7 minus a 68, and then cut that in half. So what's 99.7 minus 68?
31.7.
Thank you. 31.7, cut in half. Now, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I will have a double set of data up there for you to find the mean, the standard deviation, the variance, the blah, 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 blah. All right, I'll see you back in about 10 minutes. If you haven't gotten your fixed count put on your real calculator yet, you'll need to